this is, I don't know which persona I'm going to be. Is this a travel bear video or is this a tech bear video? I think this is a combination of both. So it is stupid o'clock in the morning, so 3:45 almost, and my body just said, Bing, you're awake. So what am I going to do on this really cold February morning? Well, Scott and I are the new owners of Tesla Model Y, and on a whim, I am going to go get it charged. Now, here's the context. It is minus 11 out Celsius, and all we have to charge the car right now is the mobile charger, and we're mobile charging at 12 volts. Sorry, at 120 volts, I should say, at 12 amps. So what's happening is it's saying, and you'll see this, I'll get some video from the app. What you're going to see is the app is saying it's going to take 24 hours to charge the car. We've only added about 5 kilowatts over, I don't know, we got back from dinner 8:30ish, I think it was. So yeah, it's been charging that whole time. Now, not a criticism of EVs. It's a criticism of how I'm charging, actually, right? So if you do all the math, and I'm not going to do math at this time of the morning, but the temperature considerations, the voltage, and the number, well, the amperage as well. So voltage and amperage. I'm not going to be able to feed that battery, very quickly. And you can see that it is pre-charging the batteries for optimal charging performance. So a lot of complexity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down to the Mississauga Supercharger, which has a number of 250 watt chargers, and let's see how this goes in minus 11 weather. This is a temporary thing. So once Scott and I have the proper 240 volt charger that will push 45 amps, then, things like we can handle charging at home fully, again, much cheaper and all that. So for now, this is the way it is. And I didn't have to necessarily do this. I could have just let the car charge, but I wanted to make sure that we were fully topped up and ready to go for anything we wanted to do tomorrow, or well, later today. So there we go. I had nothing else better to do. So went charged, followed up YouTube, which I'd be sitting on the couch watching YouTube videos anyway. So there.
You can see in the app that the e-Kuma cart, as we call it, has 56% charge currently, and you can see also that it's taking 24 hours to remain, or 24 hours remaining to the charge limit. You also see that we've limited charge to 80%, which is common for daily drivers. You can see we've added 7 kilowatt hours, and right now it is charging at 12 amps and 118 volts. So if you do the number of amps multiplied by the volts, you get the kilowatt. So it's about 1 kilowatt at this point. Yeah, it's taking a while. It's slow because of the amperage and the voltage.
On the app, you can also see nearby chargers. That we've got 2 chargers nearby, one that is the Etobicoke Supercharger, which is 150 kilowatts, with 17 of the 20 chargers available. And then there's also the Mississauga charger, which is 250 kilowatts, with 24 of the 32 chargers available. So lots of people charging overnight just because of whatever their life situation is. Maybe some of these people are taxi drivers who happen to be, or even Uber drivers, I should say, who are driving and needing to charge up quickly, etc., so that you can get back on the road to make money. So all kinds of people, all kinds of different situations. When I select the Mississauga Supercharger, I see the number of stalls that are available, both on the map and, of course, on the actual details of the charger. And you also see the fees. So in their peak time, which is 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., it's 51 cents per kilowatt hour, 32 cents after 11 p.m. to 4 a.m., and then 30 cents per kilowatt hour from 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. So one of the cheaper ones in the area. And there's an idle fee up to $1 per minute. So you have a 5-minute grace period after you've completed charging, and then you incur $1 per minute. That's to stop people from going off, running a huge number of errands, etc., and taking up charger space when that could be used for someone else. After I say, yes, I want to navigate to this particular supercharger, I can send it to the car. And the car then starts to precondition and get ready for charging, both for the drive itself and for charging. What preconditioning does for the battery is it warms it up so that it can accept the fast charge from the supercharger. If it's too cold, then it's going to spend time heating up the battery to accept a faster charge. And the actual charge itself will be much slower. The Tesla Model Y has a heat pump in it. Really cool technology. And if I recall correctly, I think it's a first for a car. It warms a car up really quickly, so I can get in it and feel comfortable right away. I don't have to freeze my butt off on the vegan leather seats and stuff like that. So that's a big plus. So just got notification that the car is ready to go. It's nicely warm. So here we go. Got a bottle of pop with me. And there we go. So, here's the heat pump going. And there's the charger. I'm gonna pull it out. And now, time to get in and go. Yeah, that is beautiful. And we can see that the car is pre-charging the battery for fast charging. So just parked at the supercharger and it looks like preconditioning is done. So I am ready to get out and charge this vehicle. There, the negotiation has freaking cold, and there we go. So what this is saying is I'm going to get 287 to 88 kilometers an hour. I'm currently at 54 kilowatts charging, and that's going up slowly, and it's saying 35 minutes. So what can I do for 35 minutes? I can listen to music, I could play with Toy Box, or I could play games in the arcade. Let's see. Skyforce is one that I've been interested in for a while, so I think I'm gonna play that. So let's talk a little bit why Scott and I chose this car. So we already have an ICE vehicle that I'm gonna be featuring in another video about driver assistance systems. And crunching the numbers with how much we're paying in gas in that vehicle, it made sense that our next vehicle would be, or our second vehicle would be, an electric vehicle. This is going to be Scott's daily driver to work because the cost savings are significant. So if I'm filling up my tank at $140 per tank, and we do that 3 times a month, versus charging, which costs us, at home it'll be like $8 a tank, if you will. And it's not like that's from sort of 20% or 0%, I can't remember. Even if we do that daily, it's relatively cheaper. So, Scott, when he goes back and forth to work, he's maybe using 10% of the battery. And so keeping that charged on a daily basis, and we don't necessarily have to charge it every day. And I'm not going to be using superchargers all the time. The only time I'll use the supercharger is right now while we're waiting for our home charger to arrive, and while on road trips. And even like road trips for me going from Toronto to Ottawa, I am looking at significant cost savings versus driving our other vehicle. So the other vehicle's an SUV. Love that car. But this one is just that little bit more economical, to put it mildly. So right now, some stats. I'm at 55 kilowatts, and it's estimating 278 kilometers per hour charging. I've already added 7 kilowatts to the car. I'm almost at 60% at this point. So I obviously used a fair bit of power to get here, etc. So now it's at 60. Anyway, with 25 minutes remaining. So it is slower today. It is saying me next time navigate to the Supercharger, the battery will precondition for faster charging. Although I probably didn't let it I certainly used navigation to get here. However, it likely didn't have enough time to precondition. So that's why it's charging slower and I'm not getting the full 250. I am on a charger that may also be shared with the Tesla that's next to me. So that may also be why it's a little slower as well. The chargers, one of the tips and tricks for any of you, especially those of you who are not in the Tesla ecosystem but are soon going to be able to charge at Tesla superchargers. The chargers that share numbers are shared with the power cabinets. So for example, if you have chargers 1A and 1B and someone's on 1B and you're on 1A, it's going to split the power between the two chargers. So if you can get one that's on its own, no one's on the circuit already, then that will get you a faster charge. While we're charging, we can have a look at the app, and the app is showing that I'm currently at 65% charge. And then you see little orange squiggly lines. What that says is that the battery is preheating for optimal performance, as you see at the very bottom. Again, the battery should be at a particular temperature in order to accept the fast charge. So I'm only at 56 kilowatts, and the charger has the ability to go up as high as 250 kilowatts. If the batteries were warmed up, I could accept a much faster charge and complete the actual charging experience much faster than the currently 15 minutes that the app is showing. So you can see on the screen some details. We've got 10 minutes remaining at 58 kilowatts. That's essentially 302 kilometers per hour that's adding, and we've added 15 kilowatts. And we can see that the battery is at 70%. It is calling out that the battery temperature is low. So also we can see details that right now I'm paying 30 kilowatt hours or 30 cents per kilowatt hour. And then I've spent Canadian $5.65. So at home, I'm paying at around this time 8 cents per kilowatt hour. So yeah, definitely more expensive, but kind of worth it at this point, given where Scott and I are at with our charger. And we've got 1 minute remaining. So that actually went by pretty quickly. I was watching YouTube videos and such, and like only a few moments ago, it was 7 minutes. And if I click on battery details, there we go. So battery almost full. and this cost me $8. So yeah, again, a little pricey, and it would be $16, you know, had I essentially gone from, you know, relatively empty, which I will never do. I will never see 0% on this car, battery remaining. So charge port closed, my foot's on the brake, it's telling me put on my belt, and I'm ready to head home. And there we are, back home and charging on the 120 for later today. That wasn't actually too bad. This is a temporary thing. So once Scott and I have the proper 240 volt charger that will push 45 amps, then, you know, things like we can handle charging at home fully, again, much cheaper and all that. So for now, this is the way it is. And I didn't have to necessarily do this. I could have just let the car charge, but I wanted to make sure that we were fully topped up and ready to go for anything we wanted to do tomorrow, or well, later today. So there we go. I had nothing else better to do, so went charged, followed up YouTube, which I'd be sitting on the couch watching YouTube videos anyway. So there we go.